Welcome to the Fifth Trooper Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Fifth Trooper Podcast. Today we've got an OG episode where it's just Grammar and I. How you been, Grammar? Oh, you're muted. You're not talking. Don't know what you did. You had it 5 minutes ago. All right, we're keeping this in. All right, well, while he's figuring that out, and I'll just wait for him till I hear him talk, we're just gonna keep going with this. So, first on the docket, he got a new mic. We bullied him.
Hey guys, new mic. Who dis?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
it turns out it doesn't take the default. It was not set to my default, and it had to manually change it.
Well, welcome to working with computers, pal. Glad you're with us.
It's my first day. I'm glad.
Thanks, guys. It's my first day. Well,
we here at the Fifth Trooper are nothing if not a well-oiled machine.
Consummate professionals.
Oh,
it was funny to see you just like fillet your arms in the background, so that's okay.
yeah. I was like, no, hey, Evan, give me a set before we start the episode.
Nope.
All right,
just
cool.
gonna keep.
Right. And we're starting in 3, 2. Oh no.
Oh no! I didn't even hear you say that then. So well, like,
yeah, I did not. Yeah, obviously I said into muted mic. So I muted Discord to prevent the double tap.
We're keeping it in, so let's go.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we have. Normally, I don't do a whole lot of housekeeping stuff, other than we've got an article coming out soon. It's probably out by the time you listen to us now.
Probably
about the top list for the SoCal Open, which was pretty interesting. A lot of GAR, and there was a 501st that hit stream on Endless's stream. Endless it does his own stream, Yavin Base. Go check that out. You can catch the VODs. I recommend catching the one with the 501st was 1-on-1 going into the match, and like almost had it and had a lat. It was like 501st with lat and almost clutched
it's like
game.
Your spirit animal.
Yeah, I know. It's really everything I've ever wanted. Just being as offbeat and crazy as possible. But my last bit is congratulations to Blood Ocean for clutching a victory. You earned it, dude. You've been a road warrior like the rest of us, traveling around and getting beat, not ever getting the number one spot. So for you to finally have your shot, your actual solid victory, congratulations, dude. You earned
Congrats.
it. And he did it with
this
Iden triple bikes
and full ISF.
Yeah, which is like good. Like that's,
I mean, it's a lot of threats.
So Dio is interesting because I don't take Dio anymore.
I think if Iden's gonna be like in the mixing it up, that extra 2 health from Dio, possibly that's more fair. With the recover card is pretty nice, as long as you can use your shields to block like pierce shots and stuff. It's effectively 2 health plus.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Iden 3-3-3 lately myself, except with 3 shorts, 3 mortars, and 2 ISF and Inferno. So I can confirm that the special forces still slap pretty hard.
Yep. I do have not quite as slappy of a list as that, but I do have an Iden story that we will get to later in the podcast.
That's fair. So emergency transponders just becoming an amazing card. Like I saw it when it was coming out of that pack. I'm like, man, this is gonna be nuts. Right up there with like up close and personal. Yep. There's gonna be things who don't give a crap about it, and other things that want it all the time.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I was a non-believer in emergency transponders, partially because I'm a droid player and everything has auras all the time, so it doesn't matter. And I'm a control freak, but I'm seeing it.
It's just like, so when I used it on my swoops, it was a turn. So I always did dodge unless I knew I wasn't gonna get shot. So I take a dodge, and then on the turn I dove, I would just take another dodge. So it's 2 dodges and cover 1 before you get to like even make me roll dice. And that makes it just like, I guess I won't shoot that. Like, what else can I shoot? So emergency transponder is good on bounty hunters, Anything that doesn't want an order, it's in this weird price point where like 4 points I think it's fine because it's a one-shot use.
I think it's fine for sure.
Yeah, it's like things that don't want it, don't want it. There's not even like a conversation about
there's
it.
competition with, I think, bounty hunters, depending on your list, for comms relay as well.
Yeah, to keep that independent.
Yeah.
But it's good. Emergency transponder's good. That's my story. Emergency transponder.
I think possibly more noteworthy here is the 20-point bid.
Yeah, that's
going heavy for it.
Yeah, there was a Yoda list that won, not in the US. It was like Yoda 11X, and I had like a 20-something point bid too, and it's concerning. I mean, so I took a deep bid. All my lists take a deep bid because I need to have the cards. Like
certain lists live and die by their battle deck more than others. Like this one is all in on the speeder bike missions and probably recover and I guess hostage.
Just give the mortar or something.
Yeah, this is to win the game, win the war, not the battle.
Yeah. I'm bidding is so AMG, I forget what stream it was, had said something that I agreed with, which was they're like, you don't get into this game for the car. It's so more or less, we don't like bids. We'd rather you take models. We'd rather you paint your, like, do the hobby and paint your model, get them on the table. And like that's 2 extra dudes, right? Like that's 2 extra core, extra add-ons, right? Like personnel. Yeah. That's some upgrades. So it's different philosophy that I'm willing to like look into what their idea of they should do with it. Because bidding is it's not bidding's not like a problem yet. Red player still has a lot of power, but it's always like there is a concern that's going to turn to like X-Wing 1.0, where it's just like, who took the deeper bid? Okay, you win, and like that's not what I want.
I don't think it's ever going to really get to that point, but also I do think I have my solution that I've been saying for a while to make bids less important is to essentially do like seasons for Legion, like the competitive, like instead of all 8 cards, like these are the 5.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
These are the 5 that we're playing with for these season, and you don't like have like the wild spread in them, so the list kind of can be, they know what they're going into for the most part, and so the list can be, the bid doesn't need to be as important because there's not that widespread.
Yeah, I wish they just did. Malifaux does a lot of things right. I like it quite a bit, but one of the things I do like is every season, like every year, they change all the competitive objectives. Like, all right, these are the objectives this year that you'll be using.
Yeah, that's the same thing. It doesn't have to be the ones that we have now, but like, hey,
yeah, just
here's 5 cards. Take out the one you don't want in your battle deck. Yeah, but they're like, as long as they're not like wildly different.
Even if they are, I think that's like 1 card's not a big deal. It's 8, right? Like when you have to like go, because there's some decks when I was playing with my clone list at ACO that I'm like, no, this is miserable for you. This is gonna be a miserable game. Like my list loves everything that's happening here. Yours does not, and it's like, like I wish we would do that. I think that'd be cool. Just to keep it like, because if you're playing casually, use whatever you want. Like these missions don't go away; they're not invalid. So if you're playing it like a local or something, you can like just jam out whatever you want, right? But at like a whatever the competitive tier event, like, okay, these are the missions, and like this is what you'll have to gamble for, or roll, whatever, right? I don't, however they want to change it up. I'm really on board for that. So yeah, I guess we'll when we round up SoCal, then we'll get to your Iden story. Well, because we'll get into your event. Yeah, yes. So we'll round up SoCal. Congratulations to everyone who played. Gar made top table like a few times. You're the true MVPs. Unfortunately, what happens is some people in the chats were like, Gar's a top faction. And I'm like, okay, is it top faction because these players are very good and they just happen to be playing Gar? Or is Gar really criminally underrated?
The eternal debate.
Yeah, no. So I guess my question to pose is, you know what? I can be wrong. Surprisingly, shockingly, I am wrong all the
Don't
time.
believe it.
Maybe like 70% of my life, I'm probably wrong. But my question to you is, if Gar is top, and you're gonna dig your heels in, which I respect, I'll say, okay, then what if we don't change anything? Like no points changes, Gar's just fine as it is if it's the way it is.
No, I think we need some point changes, but I will.
I think
again,
we do too. I'm in the they need a change boat.
If nothing happens, I think. I mean, the meta never really seems to stagnate. It's always chasing its own tail.
Yep.
So it could stumble into a place where Gar excels, because they do have things that they are good at.
Sure.
So they are great in like the range 3 just beat down firefight. They're actually pretty well equipped to handle that. And Anakin's pretty solid at backing that up too. It's getting around that, and like you can do some mission stuff with like trying to lean on Anakin on one end and do triple barks on the other and try to cut it in favor that way.
So is triple barks holding him up? Because a lot of lists have triple bark.
A lot of lists have triple barks.
Like
and I think
most of them have triple bark now.
Yeah. And I think that's what clone players needed to do. But I don't know. I don't think they're good enough overall. I don't think they have the right internal balance, at least.
So I agree. But I've seen some back and forth now that people like are winning with Gar, that they're the greatest. And hey man, I love it. Love to see it.
I mean,
I love to see that kind of bravado come out. But my question to you is, okay, so if we didn't change anything, we just said, all right, they're fine, this faction's good as is that acceptable? Because if they're the best, then they don't need to be changed. If anything else, that's indicative of they might need nerfs. So
I don't know if I'd call them the best. Looking at the math presented in front of me, I don't know if I'd call them the best.
So I'm just saying, that's just a thought. But you know what? At me, I'm all about it.
Yeah, bring it on. I think Gar definitely can produce some good lists. I don't think they have. They're not the pinnacle of internal balance like my droidy boys are.
Oh,
rest in peace, Grievous. But
yeah, no. So I'm more or less like playing half a character here. I think that they need some help, but they're not like, no faction in Legion will ever be as bad as the worst faction in 40k.
Yeah,
right. Worst faction in 40k is like not even playable, right? Like compared to anything else.
Yeah. But there's another common theme that a lot of the clone lists have been doing, and that's also leaning on pipes pretty heavily. And turns out a lot of people can do that pretty well. It feels weird. Are pipes a little too good for a unit that can go with anybody?
Yep. Agree. Which is like, it kind of feels bad because it's like, well, they won with barks and pikes, and it's like, the part of me is like, yeah, okay, like two really undercosted things. I don't know.
I don't think barks are undercosted. I think they're fine. I think they just
they're the problem is I think they're fine, but like you need three. It's like three barks. It's like three snipers, like three barks. All right, what else do I got?
That's because they're the sniper equivalent for Gar. They're your cheap filler activations that also help you win certain missions. It's just different kinds of missions.
Yeah, I mean, true. So all right, that's all my takes on that. SoCal was great. Congratulations to everyone who played. Congratulations, Blood Ocean. You did it, man. I'll see you at Adepticon or wherever else I catch you. But okay, boom. Moving on. Next bit. Ka-chow.
Okay. Next
You
bit.
ran an event, right?
I did run an event, but it was not your normal event. So there's a bit of a setup story here. So every year my local like gaming scene, it's mostly board gamers, but the war gamers get invited, tagged along as well, like the little brothers. But so they do a charity event, and I kind of got tapped to run some Legion stuff pretty last minute. So getting with a lot of my guys, no one could make Saturday, or not enough people could make Saturday. So we didn't really have, and so we could do it on Sunday, but there wasn't enough time because it's essentially a convention. It closed. We got to be packed up and out in 5.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what can I do for these guys? We could do skirmish, but that's kind of a lot of them want to play 800. So I got it in my crazy idea, my crazy head, that I would set up a team game for us to play.
You mean like 2-on-2?
No, actually ended up due to table space, it capped out at 4v4.
Oh.
And you called me insane.
I did. And
I still
live by it. Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So before I dive into everybody here, or dive into this and lose everybody here, I want to give a real special shout out to Luxury Playstyle.
Oh yeah.
They this is just a small charity event for Legion. It was 8 people, but it's a bigger event overall, and they donated a full set of those tokens right there on your screen there. That are their polished metal with sparkle enamel pushed in it. They're absolutely beautiful. They donated a full set with protectors. Rush shipped them so they get here in time, just for free to donate to help out charity for the event. That's set awesome. Retails for like $250, and I thought that is insane. And then I held them and looked at them, and oh my, they are
so
beautiful.
Real quick before we finish your story, and just stay on these for a second. Is it like, so I play Legion like at least once a week, if not more on that. So it's like it's $250 for a set, and it's gonna be a little bit more because you're gonna want so shout out to my boy Kravik. They got the Kravik's Choice play set, which I think is funny. So shout out to him. Always making if you're listening, Kravik, or if you're not listening, go to his channel. He's been doing a lot of battle reports lately for Legion. And that's really cool. And he has these great rambles about next units and stuff like that. If you get a chance, go check him out. I love it. So you take Kravik's Choice, which is about right, but you're gonna want probably two extra operative, maybe 2 because of the shadow.
It depends on Shadow Club doesn't run that many operatives.
It can though, right?
They'd run the commanders.
Yeah, so maybe 3 operatives.
It just depends on what you want to do. I mean, if you're not a Shadow Collective player, it pretty much narrows it down for you a lot easier.
3 commanders and then maybe
extra special forces. I think is already in the set.
Yeah, it's 4. So you're looking at about 267 for just one of each. Because I know Shadow Collective is up 1 to 4, either commanders or operative mixed in. So you could have 4 commanders, or you probably won't, but let's say one of each of those just to make sure. And then I mean, if we're gonna do it, why not 2 extra core units in case you play
I mean,
in case you do droids. Like, look, you want to buy this once, right? Like, I'm just saying,
I'd use like tokens of a rank that I'm not using and talk to my opponent and say, hey, these are spares.
You see, look, man, we're already at like $250. Another $50.
I mean,
what are we doing?
These are like primo maximum style on your opponent.
So
stuff. But I also want to talk. Yeah, those are awesome. Oh, actually, but I want to talk about something that's not that expensive that that's really awesome too. So scroll down a bit. I just saw them there at the bottom. Hit those combat tokens over there on the left.
The one all the way left here?
Either it's a set or singles, however you want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So these I think are awesome as well, and you can buy them. That's for a full play set. You can buy them in smaller groups if you want to.
Phones, yeah.
And
Rushed Alloy.
Yeah, there's different finishes.
Yeah.
The alloy is supposedly stronger.
Large playset.
But
$180.
they did something that I think is absolutely amazing. Can you click on the first or second picture of their little demos there? So on the back of their wounds and suppression, instead of 3, it's 2.
Okay.
And that never really even crossed my mind that was like a thing you can or should do. And then I saw it, and then now everything else is ruined for me because I want to just flip my tokens over when I get another one.
I want to say 6 Up Supply does stuff like that too. I think he does 1 and 3. But these are also gorgeous. These are just like, it's like, man, I play a lot of Legion. Maybe I should just invest in a really nice, like,
yeah, this
set.
it's, and they were super great to us sending those tokens out. The dude that got them is ecstatic.
Yeah, I bet he was. Yeah.
Yeah, they are incredible.
Would make stellar league prizes or gifts. Yeah, I agree.
It is.
So
it's not for everyone, but they are premium. It looked awesome.
Yeah. So check them out if you get a chance. This is pretty sick. But if you're looking for something on the more affordable end, you should check out the Fifth Trooper shop. And shameless plug right here. Hey, 20. If 250 is looking a little high, how about $20 for a set? All right, Jay, I did my plug. So
catching the mail.
But yeah, no, these are I remember these were on my radar like a year or two ago, and then they weren't. And then you mentioned them again. I'm like, yeah, man, like I do play Legion like too much. Maybe it wouldn't hurt just to have like a super dope set of tokens. And God knows I'll be counting them after each game. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. But all right, that sounds good. So continue your story.
Okay.
Continue your
so
4v4
I had the madness idea to do a 4v4 team game. And you correctly pointed out that that's going to take forever to finish. So I made some rules alterations, and they worked actually very well at speeding this up. We had some newer players, and it took them a decent while to play their game, but we had registration, like show up at 10. I probably had like pairings as in team assignments done by around 10:30.
Okay, that's not bad.
And we were done, packed up, prizes handed out by 4.
Okay, I mean, so you started really playing probably 11.
Yeah, around
like
then.
Actual like
yeah.
Okay,
11. It was a 5-hour.
Yeah, so
Legion, but for a 4v4 team game, and most of that was a couple of our newer players, which is probably about what an 8-hour point game would take for.
For a 4v4 team game that like you couldn't play a real tournament anyway, but everyone just wants to play Legion. I mean, like, okay, I mean that's fine, right? That's really not not unreasonable.
I really
we're here for the love of the game at this point.
I think it's experienced players could play it really pretty much just as quick as a standard game, because what I did here is that when it was every team or every player would put down a command card like normal, and they'd flip them over, and we'd total up the pips, and that'd be the team's total priority. And whenever it was the team's activation, every player would activate a unit. And so, but the immediate issue there is to like, they're just gonna like 4-tap somebody and just dumpster a unit off the table. So what I did there is that no player could attack a unit that had already been attacked in that like activation. So that forced everyone to still like keep their fire spread out. So no unit would take more than 1 unit's worth of fire in any activation. So it kept that ratio roughly the same. And that was pretty big. There was a little bit of communication going back and forth to like, there was some, and I'll jump into my Iden story. We had Iden with a sniper rifle up on like a raised terrain feature.
I think
shooting.
I already know what this is
Oh,
going.
actually, yes. Before I get too far, I have to describe the table to you guys. So we played on a 3x18, one consecutive long super battle lines deployment
3x18
table. Yeah, it had 2 chunks of a crashed ship in the middle, 2 escape pods more further out, and then my entire collection of crates, both the recover the supplies crates and the supply crates, were out as like recover the supplies objectives scattered around. So the objectives were pretty scattered. For the most part, it kept people in their own lanes, kind of in their set 1v1s, but there was some cheeky little diverts and getting some help, like my ATRT that ioned out of the blue from my side. I wasn't expecting, just rebels turned and blocked it. But Iden was up on a raised platform, and she kept, I think twice, she popped death troopers from our estimation was about range 17, 18, something like that.
Amazing. So
Just
like
popped
all
them
the way across.
Yes. It was like a table and 2/3
Damn.
away. She's like, all right, pop.
That reminds me of the stories of like when 40K was like fun and people had a good time with it and didn't take it so seriously. There'd be, I think it was Imperial Guard mortar or something, had like an infinite range. And I remember a story of
it was the Basilisk that had a range of 280 inches, so it's like 30 feet or something like that. Like,
and it was like,
it was crazy.
I heard different stores calling up other stores to fire support on them. Like, is there a game going on right now? All right, yeah, tell them there's incoming fire. And they like rolled some dice over the phone, and it was like, just super like
it was fun. There was a lot of stuff like that. Snipers got some mileage on annoyance of people. But the biggest thing is that as long as the mission, I think, because this was a custom mission, obviously, the mission was designed that everyone kind of had something to do, and actually multiple things to do in front of them objective wise. So that and an opponent across from them. So that kept most of the attention on their assigned opponent, where the helping stuff was cheaty. It was a lot of fun, but it actually wasn't a major impact in the game, which kept it moving pretty quick.
That's good. That's the biggest thing, is just speed.
Yeah, it was essentially we were just playing at the speed of our slowest 1v1.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
It worked much better than I expected. I went in like saying like, all right, guys, I'm hoping we get to turn 5. We'll see what we can do, and we blew through it. So I was stoked that it worked as well as it did. So I recommend all you guys out there try it if you're looking for something different with your game group. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. We did winners by just who could amass the total number, like the highest total number of victory points. And it was, frankly, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I keep hoping for the day Legion will get released an AI system that's like as good as the one that Fallout has and Skyrim has, where it's just like,
I wonder, I'm not super familiar with Imperial Assault, but was that something, or was there
map? Yeah. This is just like a like the Fallout one's like roll a die, how damaged is the character? Like there's 3 columns, then what'd you roll on the die, and it tells you like they go to an objective, they fire at you, they pick up the objective. They have like it's really pretty intuitive. And I really wish that, because you made a point, well, not really a point, but like as you're talking about like a team game, I'm like, man, it'd be nice to go to a store with somebody and play Legion and just not have to fight against them for a change.
Yeah.
Like, not that I mean, that's the point of the game. That's the game.
Well, you're bringing your friend to Legion, and it's like just you and him at the store. It's like, well, you can play me if you want, or like,
either you have to
that'll work really good for like an onboarding thing, like getting somebody into Legion,
or just
not having to just
like
feel like
they're
getting beat.
Yeah,
like
it's
set
like
missions, like
they mentioned AMJ had mentioned the Vader down a while ago.
yes,
And
that's
the
still in the
mission.
pipe somewhere.
And I think that'd be cool, like an AI controlled Vader. He's nuts. He's got like 30 health or something, right? Some just like can two armies shoot down Vader like in a super like his Super Saiyan form, Super Saiyan 4 Vader coming at you, like just something where it's just like, hey, like I want to play Legion, I just don't want to play PvE, right? Like it's like a PvE option, just to, like move some guys around, throw some dice.
A Legion equivalent of what was it? Heroes of the
Atari cluster.
Antares, yes.
That guy is making snap ships.
Yes,
that's the same guy who's making snap ships right
I couldn't
now.
remember what it was. Yes.
Yeah, no. So if you checked out snap ships, I've got some way in the back. You can't see them probably. Their snap ships is a toy, where you can make robots, vehicles, and planes, and they're really pretty cheap. Like $20 gets you a pretty big model, but they're turning it into a X-wing style game. So the beauty of that, I've talked about this before, but I'll go on a straight ramble here for a minute.
No,
I know this won't be too long. And more or less just saying, keep an eye out. It's on Kickstarter right now. It should have a full release next year. But you get your snap ship, whatever part you equip to it is the upgrade card you get. And like missiles have like they're not just like auto hit, they fire and they travel towards you, so you can have a chance to shoot them down. They do barrel rolling. It plays in like a 3x3. It's like everything I want out of a side game to be. But the biggest selling point to me is that the units are like pretty dirt cheap in comparison to the games we play. Paying $40 for like a spaceship that you build that's like, the size like a foot long sub big is a very different than paying for a foot long sub size unit in anything we play. That's at least that's like $100 minimum, and it's probably a hunk of plastic. Yeah,
that's the SSD from Armada.
It's like we get like hobbying taxed because they just know it's a luxury item, so they can ping us. But
we're suckers, we'll get it.
Oh, absolutely. So all right, cool. Hey, I'm glad you should. Can people reach out to you? Do you have written instructions on what you did?
I will. If we can't get it into the description of this video, I will get it in the comments of this video. A short written out description of what I did.
Okay.
And I've got some pictures too. I'm not sure if I'll be able to link those on YouTube, but we'll get my Discord information in there, and anyone can tag me if they want to see some pictures of how the layout worked and everything like that.
Perfect. All right, cool. So
I do have one more thing.
Oh yeah, go for it.
It's not team game related, but it is related for that event, and it's just cool. I want to show it. You don't even know about this.
Oh.
So there was a silent auction for charity there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this old the Star Wars chess set. Oh no, my camera doesn't like it.
Oh.
And these are
those are rad.
These are the pawns. So there's 8 clone troopers like this.
Well, that's sick.
And 8 stormtroopers.
Damn.
And there's a bunch of different like characters. Like here's like Jane Fett.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So these are, if anyone has this old, I think it's from like 2005 chess set out here, these look like they would make great Legion statues to me. So that's why I got them to spray them down.
Oh, no.
Maybe the metallic ones I'll just leave as is, but I brushed the black ones as statues, and
I suppose you could still use them as chess pieces.
Yeah, you can still use them as chess pieces. Like, come on,
I was like, that's sick. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I'm sure some people out here have this kicking around in their basement somewhere that they forgot about, and I've just unlocked a key memory somewhere.
Core memory unlocked.
Yeah. So
dang, okay.
Dig that up if you have it and put it on the Legion table. It'll look awesome.
So that's cool. I actually found my Star Wars Monopoly when I was cleaning out some of my stuff, and it's all computer stuff.
Yeah, the is that the one with the General Grievous in it that's all crazy?
No, this is the OG trilogy one where it's like Luke and Vader, they have their lightsabers, but they're all bent and pewter. Because I was a kid, I screwed them up. So I thought it was funny to have a bent lightsaber. I'm like, hee. But okay, so I've got a challenge for you.
Uh-oh.
So okay, let me do this. Let me clear list. Okay, we're gonna go separatists because that's been my current fixation is separatists. I jump around a lot. And people may notice that. But it's just I have to keep trying new things to see what I find. So at first I was gonna do, well, okay, how about I do a challenge to myself and I get the battle force. So I have the battle force.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I give myself a small increment of money, like allowance to either save or to buy another unit for the army to keep improving it from its core, like from the core box. So
what we're saying, so this is an expansion exercise. So we're new players right now. Yep. Or you're a new player. Come to me. You've got just the Battle Force box or the Battle Force and the core box?
I'm going to say just the Battle Force box. And to keep it something like this. I don't know. Perfect here. Yeah, okay. Well,
Magnus, yeah.
Then I think I can only...
Yeah, we're already going to have to cut some stuff. But
yeah, sad.
Yeah.
Probably some core guns and give them the whip boy. If I only have one, they're going to be melee dudes. Well, Grievous is gun. This is just kind of hot firing off the hip here. I really wish I could give Grievous into the fray. That's like a perfect card for him, but has to be endurance.
Yep.
If I ever want 2 actions again. And then these guys get SA and tenacity probably, and then comms maybe. That's pretty okay.
Comms
and then I've got enough to give each of these guys probably there.
Okay, so we're getting close. That's a Battle Force box. That's pretty good.
Yeah, this is like so the upgrade cards. I'm a little fast and loose on just to keep it like.
The tank needs a shell, and we have points for that though. But it's
yeah. We'll give it a HV. Bam. All right, there you go.
All right, so we're looking for good value picks to increase our gameplay.
And so the next question is, do I even keep it Battle Force? Like, do I just break immediately after this?
I think you keep it right now. So I don't think there's necessarily a huge benefit to being the Battle Force, especially if we're not running B1 heavies.
Yeah, it's rough because I'm trying to. I guess I could just not. Well, the problem is I only have this, so like I kind of have to just play this until.
What I think I would start with is we can still stay in the Battle Force. If you can, and this is a big if because some people can't make it work. If you have the desire for the clone half of the starter set or know someone who does, the starter set is still a pretty decent value because you get the B1 battle droids, which you will want eventually for the same cost, and then you also get the dice and the tools and all that stuff that you will probably need if you don't already have it.
Okay, we're assuming I have like the tchotchke stuff. Like
all right, you got all that.
And dice tools and like that are infinite.
We can pass on the starter box then.
Because then we could. Okay, well let's say that. Let's say a starter box because that's a droideca, 2 battle droids and Grievous. I guess we'll pass on the box.
It's close though because you will eventually want 2 squads of battle droids, and that's essentially
$30 now.
That's your half of the core box if you can split it with somebody.
Yeah, let's assume I have no friends. Let's assume I have no friends. Let's just make
Evan
up
has
magic.
no friends.
I got nothing.
Just completely devoid from reality. Let's just assume Evan has no friends.
Just kidding about the no friend thing. Sometimes you have friends who just don't play Legion. Don't take that as don't take that as a.
All right. So I think I would recommend there's a choice to make.
So, okay, let's even take
And-
this one step further. Let's make some rules. So how much money should I get each week?
Okay. How about let's say you buy a box a week,
So $30?
give or take. It might be a cheaper box some weeks. It might be a little more expensive box the other weeks. Like you might
So,
buy a hero
okay.
1 week, but you might buy like a tank
Save
the
for a
next week
tank
or something.
Yeah. So
You
let's
already
say
have one, but
I get $30. 'Cause that's roughly a core. Well, if you shop on the fifthtrooper.com and you
get it
use
at
the
a
code
10%
10% off discount with SW Legion.
Yeah.
And actually, I was thinking about this. If you're getting into the game, this can be like what's a B1 droid for? If you're getting into man, I'm just burping into the mic. Sorry.
Yeah, crushing it. Good job.
So you know what?
Love that.
Okay, real quick. So these woodchuck hard cider is my favorite hard cider. And they make what's called a brunch box, which is 4 different kinds of ciders, but they're different. They're like one's that orange juice and champagne. Mimosa. They have like mimosa. This one's prosecco. It's a bubbly
The
dry
fancy
cider.
screwdriver.
Yeah. These are like super good. So if you find the woodchuck cider brunch box, I recommend it. Not endorsed, just really like them. They're from Vermont.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you get it at the gas station and use code Star Wars Legion.
Dude. So the problem with woodchuck, they don't sell the whole they don't sell it. I love woodchuck. And I'm in New York, so it's all around where I live, except where I live, because we have 1911, which is a cider brewery right here, and they don't even bother trying to compete. So in the area I live, you cannot get it unless Wegmans accidentally buys it. But outside Syracuse, they're everywhere.
I'm cutting you off, Evan. I'm cutting your rant off.
Hey, wait,
Talk about battle droids.
Hey, this is content people are here for. Anyway, okay, let's say $30.
All right, so
let's say 30 bucks.
bucks.
Let's say I buy it from the Fifth Trooper and I get 10% off. So $30.
Yeah, you can hit a
10%.
$35 box a week.
Yeah.
I think I would recommend with the Battle Force right now. I think your one Magna Guard is fine. I think your Droidicas are fine. I think we need to look at the units we're looking at, either enhancing or replacing our Grievous, the B1s, and the tank.
What's wrong with Grievous? So tank can't go because I've got a Battle Force. So
yeah, if we're sticking with the Battle Force, the tank has to stay.
I don't.
But
I guess I could just not play the Battle Force. So then this doesn't change, or really it doesn't
not a whole lot. So I think this is the point where we have to decide, though, is do we want to keep the tank, or do we want to keep an aggressive melee character or commander like Grievous?
So
because generally a list will only have one or the other, and I think pretty much right now would be the time that we'd pick.
My next thought was go Maul. And
then we're gonna need
grab Maul, and then first off,
we'd need the specialist box.
Yes, grab specialist to get the Potbelly droid, and then go Maul.
Yes.
But because that'd give me more command cards. That'd give me the generics, which are really good.
Well, those are in the box.
The
Battle Force
generics?
box. Yeah,
really.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I saw them in there. I think it's just the Battle Force and the generic cards of Assault Push. Because I actually have this in my desk at work, so I've been building it. But I looked at the cards. I don't think
you might be right.
Yeah, the upgrade pack's there.
But either way, yeah, we'll start with the specialists. That's our week 1 buy. And so if we're sticking with the Battle Force, we're gonna use let's go back to the list here.
Wish I could sort this.
Can you kick it back to the list there?
Jay, for listening, I can't sort this by faction. That bothers me. All right, here we go.
All right, so let's drop Grievous and replace him with our T-Series tactical droid, and let's see where we're at. We're gonna have a lot of points to fill. Give that boy aggressive tactics.
Actually, not that many.
We got 100.
Yeah, so that can be more B1s, really. Another Droideca.
Well, we don't have those yet. So we're not gonna be able to fill out the list
Well, I can just do this, like give these heavies, and then it's gonna be one of those like not good lists because like this is just everything I own. So
I think
we could.
it might still be better than the Grievous though. But
Dude, that's so messed up, but you might be right.
all right,
like,
so we have a habit of knocking on Grievous.
He's not great.
There's a reason for that. So, and it's more common when you play like at higher level. That higher level positioning becomes a lot more important, and your opponents are much better at it and much better at working around melee characters.
Yeah.
And force push is a really important part of what makes Jedi work at high levels and available and able to stay more or less safe and do their job without getting shot to death. Grievous doesn't have that, and it really shows when you try to play him at a high level.
No force push, disengage on one card. If he just had disengage built in, which would fit his character, because he just he's a coward, right? Like he's a okay. Which Grievous are we talking about? Are we talking about the murder Grievous?
No, I'm cutting your rant off right now.
What? No, that's what it is. So like, so they chose the coward Grievous, right?
Stay on target.
This is on target. This is Grievous. This is we're talking about him. It's a shame. Anyway, yeah. So okay, so I have to get this built. So this is gonna be a long-term project for me.
Yes.
So I'm gonna get this built. Dude, droidekas are a bastard to build. Wow, I hate
they
them.
are. Pro tip: don't build the wield modes. You don't need them.
Already did. So already did. They're on my desk, and I'm like, wow, I guess I'll never use these. But I've got the Magna Guards built, the tank built, and then like all but like one pair of Droideka with wield mode. I think I got 3. Yeah, so it's 4. I've got those built, and the B1s I'll build, and then Grievous, and then I'm gonna play this at least once. And then once I get a game in, I'll use my money to buy an upgrade, which I either already own or I might buy. I might just do this as like a whole new army, because I've got some CIS stuff, but I might just do this as like a clean thing of like, no, this is my new CIS army. Like friends with the old army gone, friends with new army now. So I thought about how I was going to paint them. Because those my old ones are pretty broken, so I was gonna do those as like swamp droids, like they're just like a forgotten planet that they've just been hanging around, so they're just like all broke because they're already. I let my friend borrow them. They didn't come back in great condition, so we're already like destroyed. But I want to keep these nice and pristine and like new. Though the tank top already fell off and I broke one of the antenna off.
Oh my god! Evan.
Yeah, it lasted like 30 seconds. One of the guys at work, he goes, "Oh, is that a Naboo tank from the droid guys?" I'm like, yeah, here it is. It just fell off, and he's like, it hit, and he's like, won't that break the antenna? I'm like, nah, it's fine. And I pick it up and it just snaps off. I'm like, oh, fine.
All right. Anyway, so get rid of Grievous. We're at our week 1.
You see, I think maybe I get rid of droidekas and just throw more battle droids in there. Well, if I'm gonna do this battle force thing. I think that's the real take. After a play, or maybe 2. Maybe I do 2. Like I'll play with you on TTS, and then I'll play like in real life, and then we can. Because I think one play is not really indicative. I don't think a list can really be decided on whether it's truly good or bad until like 10 plays. I know it sounds like a lot, but like sometimes you really need to get the grind in. But this is more of an experiment than a grand.
So, humor me.
Yeah.
So, let's hit our we're staying battle force. It means we have to run tank, which ultimately means we're really not going to want an expensive character like Grievous.
Yeah, okay. So I'm like, because I thought about this little bit I was going to do earlier today. I'm like, oh, Maul's cool. People kind of crap on CIS Maul now because other
Maul they shouldn't, because he's still amazing. He got no worse.
No, yeah, he got
is really still awesome.
But you know what really kills me about this? What don't you see here?
Oh, yep. Pro tip: AMG forgot Maul's
it has to be
probes.
they forgot, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they just decided he doesn't get his Phantom Menace. It's in the art. Like he's right. It's the Phantom Menace. Like anyway, as everyone's like, if you're on audio, you're watching me point to my screen and shout like a nerd. But so I'm like, well, I could do maybe a Potbelly Droid and Maul, just to have like a different take on it. Because the Potbelly Droid and the tank can just kind of hang back and just do whatever they want to do.
You could do it. I think that's a later thing than building up your core gun line. But if that's what you wanted to do, I think you're better off without the battle force and the tank.
Yeah. It's I think if I do because I probably won't be able to get both games in a week. So this might be like an every other week thing. I'm just trying to like think out how the best way to do this to get the most mileage out of it.
Right.
But so if we do
this here is our starting point. This is week 0. So let's go to week 1.
Yeah. So weeks then. Well, let me get 2 games in, and then we can talk about what I liked and didn't like.
Okay. So I thought you wanted to like map this out for a few weeks now.
No. This is more of a like a concept. So this is something I thought about earlier today, and then you and I are kind of hashing out like the rules for this, I guess.
Okay.
So do you think $30 every 2 weeks is like?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly.
That's like a reasonable.
I think you're gonna. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say you're gonna start off. In my head anyway, you're gonna start off replacing Grievous, being a little throwing a little bit extra upgrades on there, more than you really need or want. But then week after that you'll add in a squad of battle droids, and then it'll feel a little bit better. And then you'll add in another squad of battle droids, and it'll feel a little bit better. Which, if you're sticking with the battle force, I think that repeats 4 times in a row.
Yeah, I think so. I almost think, you see, my first thought was don't get rid of Grievous, get rid of the droidecas.
Droidecas you hate on them more than I think they deserve. I think they are.
It's just
they are
like,
solid.
No one
not
plays
solid.
them. Like they're just
no
not
one
seen
plays
anywhere.
them because there are better uses of points in.
Don't even
CIS,
see like
probably.
Casual players play them. The thing, like not even people are like,
they do all the time around me. And
really? Never around me. Like,
they are
never.
Surprisingly, when put in heavy cover, if they can sit in heavy cover and do their job, which is to sort of hurt things but mostly suppress things and be obnoxiously hard to kill in heavy cover, they're solid. They don't need any support. They can act on AI. They're fine. They just need to roll a piece of paint and just keep throwing down suppression while being a pain to remove.
I guess, but for like 75 points, like why wouldn't you take a stab, right?
Because a stab will, if it gets caught, and which it pretty much has to do its job, eventually will die. And if you have a list built around them, that's great and it can work. I think, okay, I'll make the statement here. I would rather, if you told me I had to include a single support choice and could do, and just 0 to or 1 to 1, cannot include 2, can't include 3, has to be 1, I would take a Droideka over a stab.
Man, all right, you're talking about a lot of game here for a guy
on
I've never seen play a Droideka. That's all I'm saying.
I played a ton of Droidekas, mostly in casual games.
Yes. All right,
but partly because if one stab on a flank will do nothing and then die.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to play it. Okay, the whole experiment with this is to make me play stuff I don't normally play, which CIS is a whole faction I don't normally play.
I'm looking forward to you experiencing this because you have griped and moaned at me so much.
Oh, dude, I hate Magna. Like I like kind of like. I didn't want to say it. But I'm like, the first thing I get rid of is Magna because screw them. I'm out. Like, not on my Christian Minecraft server. Getting no swearing allowed. But they're just so good. Like, they're just so good. Like when I see someone who's like, it reminds me when people do like they're like, hey, here's my new list. It's off meta because I took like radiation cannons on my B1s, but then you have like triple magna decked out, and I'm like, okay, so you could really just build whatever you want, put triple magna in it. It still like kind of carries itself. Like they're that good. They'll carry a game. It's nuts. We
it is all right. Jay, take down the sign. It has now been 0 days since an Evan Madnagard rant.
Oh man, but like the worst part is I'll use them and they'll do really good, and I'm just like, oh, I can't get rid of them, but
I know.
Such a pickle.
Because
I don't even need to give them an order. They're just like, yeah, wherever you are, as long as you're in range 2 Grievous, you're fine. Maybe that's the thing that makes Grievous okay. Have you double Magna Grievous? Maybe that's not the worst. They get what, Guardian 4 when he plays Supreme Commander?
Supreme Commander only works on core units that have a face-up order token.
Really? Core?
Yep.
But there's Magna Guard in the back of the
never mind. Sorry. It is not core units. It's all face-up with that have
okay.
Never mind. Troopers that have a face-up order token.
I was about to say, I'm like, yo, this art card art's some bullshit then. These guys are in the background of it.
You're right. Sorry. It is my mistake.
No, that's fine. You know better than I do. Like, so I was about to get like real upset that they're gaslighting me with the Magna Guard in the background. And I remember when this card first got revealed, and I'm like, oh, Magna Guard, they'll be fun. I bet they'll be like, just as good as IRG. If not, maybe better now. But I mean, maybe that's a thing. Melee, and it's just like Grievous doesn't die in melee. He dies because the guy just left, and then another guy shot him. Right? It's
usually he did. Grievous died because he got force pushed out of melee, and
then it just gets lit up. So it's like, I bet when they were doing the box set, like the first couple expansions, when this was what, years ago at this point.
Yeah,
like, oh well, if Obi-Wan Kenobi comes up and smacks Grievous, he can use the B1s around him to take the hit. And I'm like, that's so like wholesome and quaint. Now it's like good lord, Magna Guard roll upon him and throw like 9 into him, and he just topples. Like he just crumbles. So I've got this battle box, so I'm gonna build it, and then I'll buy. I'll probably really buy stuff unless I've got it around and that's like untouched, because I do have CIS stuff that's just kind of hanging around, and nothing I own that I can't just give to somebody if someone needs some stuff. But so we'll do this. I'll play a game with you on TTS. Maybe we even stream it.
We'll report. Yeah, we could.
Maybe we'll even stream it, and then I'll try to get an IRL game.
Okay. I might have a challenge for you.
Yeah.
Here. I might do the same thing with a different faction.
Okay, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking. I've been looking at my Empire, looking at dusting them off.
Doing some Blizzard Force.
Yeah, I might pick up Blizzard Force, which will partially suck for me because I think it is by far
the worst.
I mean, box. Blizzard Force is a fantastic army.
Real good army.
The rules for it are like, that page is fantastic.
Yeah.
The units in the box are not.
Yeah, it's I mean, like, so it's weird.
And even like individually they can do okay, but like the fact that they're the pieces that are trying to get meshed together to make this army, they don't.
Yeah, it's I'm really surprised he didn't just put E-webs in. I get the speed thing, but E-webs just look like
those scout troopers on
yeah.
Don't you remember them zipping between the legs of the AT-ATs? And
it's just like their movies, but that's another thing. But so maybe we'll do a battle box thing, and we'll each take some fake money or real money, depending on how hard you want to go. And we'll just assume
just one unit every however far,
like 2 weeks, or maybe we just do it once a month. Maybe
we'll document our progress here,
because I want to. People ask me, how we actually have some very good articles written by Alice of our blog team about like how to get started on each faction and what to buy, and like smart purchases are like these units are generally good. Like, you don't get screwed because I've definitely bought into 40K and bought. Oh, actually, I bought into 40K and bought incorrectly, but I bought into War Machine and bought super incorrectly and never had a good time because I just bought things that just did not work together. So this would be an interesting, just kind of experiment to see how it goes. And if you, in the comments, let us know what you think I should buy to add to this box. And it's just interesting. Again, this is more of like I mentioned on the Scoundrels that I was bored with Legion, and I had to take a step back.
I almost jabbed you with it at the top of the show, but
I took a step back because it's not so much that, it's that I'm kind of waiting for a points change before I die hard commit to something for Worlds, but I don't. It may not happen. We don't have like a time frame, so I don't know if it's going to happen before Worlds. It may happen after Worlds. It might. The safe thing to do would just keep it as is, and then after Worlds, then you can like check all the stuff that happened, and then be like, okay, you know what?
There is a lot of din here.
Yeah, maybe din's a little cheap, or maybe his guns too, something like that, right? Like start doing that, because doing it before Worlds is a bit of a shakeup. But that, to me, that's Legion's the most fun right after a points change, because people are trying everything. You see stuff come out of the woodwork, like shoe boxes of like, here's triple E-Web because they got a points decrease. It's just like, that's the best Legion to me, where it's just Wild West. But so I'm thinking I need to readjust how I look at the game now, because I don't want to stop playing. That's not really it. I just need to find out something that peaked, like a Bush had put it, like a project unit. And I think, well, how about a whole project army? And then a friend of the podcast, Zach Buxton 6 Matthews, said, well, hey, why don't you do CIS Mall, because people seem to be poo-pooing him right now. And I'm like, so that's what started this. I'm like, okay, well, how do I make Mall? Oh, he can go into the battle force. That'd be like a novel way to do this. And then I'm like, wait, they don't have droids.
Yeah, he just have his probes. What?
Probes?
Actually, okay. So we're rewinding way back to crazy events from our team game here.
Yeah.
So the guy who was playing on my team next to me was very new, and I didn't really have the chance to really help him much because we had one of our players was sick, so I had to step in and actually play, and also try to run the event. But he was running Maul Grievous, like pretty much a starter box with some extra B1s and Maul and Grievous.
Okay. Yeah,
and
just whatever you got to do to get him on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was playing against another newer player, but was playing probably a better list with Rebels, and he got almost tabled. But the mission was for him, because he had an estate pod in his like little area in the middle, go to the estate pod, pull out hostages or prisoners, and drag them back to your deployment zone. And there's also like recover the supply crate scattered around in there. He was tabled outside of, I think, a single droideka model and Maul's probes. And the probes dragged a hostage all the way back to his table edge, stopped on the way to pick up a box, and scored 4 points. And he came like third. Because the probes just
scooped it up. Carrying.
Yeah. They hid behind like a shield generator, and like Han was trying to run after him, but he couldn't see him.
It must be they forgot about the droids, right? Like, I mean, I get, because you only ever take one.
You can only ever take one. Their detachment.
Yeah, detachment, hover air, or maybe it's not there on purpose. But I find it weird that they give you Maul. Oh well. Not my. What I'm going for with this.
I think. I mean, if you wanted to do it, I think CIS Maul is a good candidate to show that hey guys, he's still good, because he 100% is.
I think he is. I mean, with tenacity, he's rolling like 5 red, 4 white. If you're hitting a Jedi, that one turn
Into the Fray is huge on him.
Yeah. I think there's some you can take
best saber throw in the game.
You can do a lot of cool stuff. So I think
move, push, stand by.
It's like a shame because I think I'm going to play some games and then I'm going to be like, man, maybe Grievous isn't that bad, and then like just commit to him and then get real sad and then have to like. But then it's like real life where it's like, well, I can't just. I haven't been collecting for years, so I can't just go on my shelf and pull Dooku off. Be like, man, like it's like, oh, I've got to wait till my next payday to buy one more unit to add to this. So it's like I'm just kind of stuck with them.
All right, how about we do this instead of putting some schedule? So as an encouragement for us to keep going with this, we grab a battle force, and then for every 2 games we play, that's when we can add
add in.
Yeah, so we can't just like, we didn't play for 2 weeks. Well, we're gonna snipe this in here. I think we should get our list reps in, bust our chops with these units, make us play a little bit out of our comfort zone, and then we can grow from there.
Because this is because I own this and I'll have it built. I've been building on my luncheon during slow time, so I can get these guys done. Probably end of this week, maybe. I haven't hit the B1s yet. And like it's like one of those things where like I'll build the B1, I'll build all the E5Cs,
E5Cs.
But maybe I don't build all the E6 C60Rs. It's like maybe I build like 2 and just be like, well, they'll just go exactly.
I have 6 squads of B1s and 2 rockets.
Yeah, it's like so yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, let us know what you think. We'll probably wrap up the cast.
I think here. I'm actually I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna bring 501st against you.
Oh, dude, no.
I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna do it.
It's not even like a it's not even like a it's so rough. Yeah, I get. What do you get out of the 501st? You get Anakin, you get
Anakin, 2 phase 2s, and a bunch of arcs and an ATRT.
And an ATRT, a single ATRT.
Yep.
And you get 8X. I mean, Anakin's good. Okay.
Anakin is good.
I mean, that's if that's I was really hoping you'd say Rebels or something. But yeah, if you want to do 501st.
Well, shit. Now I want to play Rebels. I want to try them all. And what was initially pulled me towards Empire is for my random list I threw together as like the Rainer list for this team tournament that I did was Rebels with Din, Sabine, and Clan Ren in it.
Okay.
And it was surprisingly fun. So you just saying like, oh, I'm surprised you shut to play Rebels, that sparked that thought in my head now.
Well, I mean, you have the freedom to change because you're mostly going to be playing with me digitally, right? So it's like you can just decide 1 week that, all right,
I want to hold myself to it. We'll see.
So we'll see what the surprise will be
if we get any comment votes here on what I should play. I'll try that. Maybe they just want me to do CIS 2 and just be better at it than you. I don't know. Whatever they want to do.
Dude, look, we can. You're playing units you don't play, or I've never seen you play Grievous and Droidekas. So I'm ready to take that bet. I'll take the wily Evan plays over the calculated grammar plays with units you don't play. Like I'm more than happy to. But if it's like Kalani double ion spider, I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I'll pick. If you don't want to play, then fine. I'll just pick up my toys and I'll go home. But all right, everybody, we'll wrap it up.
Call it there.
Let us know in the comments what he should play. Or if he should just take his seagull French fry earnings and get the heck out.
Just bounce.
Just bounce. Everyone, thanks for listening. Stay rad. By the time you hear this, there'll be an AMA on the Patreon. We're doing it tomorrow, so you won't hear it, but you can go back to the Patreon to hear it there and past the VOD. So everyone, stay rad. Catch you later. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Join us next week for another edition of the Fifth Trooper podcast.
This has been a Fifth Trooper production.